Hi everyone, I hope you're okay. It's the 22nd of March 2024. My name is Gary Waterman. I'm a former police officer and a Christian. If you haven't already looked at my previous videos, then go and check them out on YouTube, which is at Gary Truth Sets Us Free. That's at Gary Truth Sets Us Free. I have been getting information that subscribers are being kicked off and having to resubscribe, and that comments are being deleted. Any social media sites that are involved in doing that, you're becoming complicit to this system of crime and fraud. So please let this transition happen. Let the truth come out. I'm not showing anything that isn't truthful. People can go and verify it. You can go and verify it, corroborate all the information through the documents and everything I'm showing. Please assist in this transition and keep everything available to the public, please. Now, I'm sorry I haven't got back to you all on emails. I'm being inundated, but please keep emailing me. So the email is garythetruthsetsusfree@gmail.com. That's garythetruthsetsusfree@gmail.com. I will try and get back to every one of you when I can. If it's urgent, then just put it in the subject field, urgent call or something like that, just so I know that to try and put it to the top of the list, but only if it is really urgent, because I will get to you at some point. Now, I'm going to show you an email in a minute, and it relates heavily to the child protection case that I've been dealing with. Unfortunately, it still looks as though nothing's going to be happening with it. I've had no contact from Hampshire Police, unbelievably, even though I've got very important information surrounding this case and wider implications and concerns regarding the child care service and what's going on, and an international child trafficking ring linked to this now very clear, irrefutable information and evidence of an international fraudulent system. It's huge. Now, very fortunately, I've done some great interviews recently, and I haven't had time to shave and wash properly, but I'm doing well. I'm really good and feeling great about everything. I'm still really positive about all of this, and truth, integrity, and trust and transparency, it has to win the day in the end of this. And there's some great things happening and amazing people contacting me. I mean, the support, not for me, but for the change that we all need, is just unreal based on now what's being evidenced. So thank you so much to what everyone's doing, creating groups, supporting each other and challenging their MPs and councillors, building their own evidence and challenging the taxation system, which links heavily to this, all only to compel a change, of course, so which is what we need. So let me show you this email anyway now. So this is an email that I sent was it 22nd today? So this was sent yesterday. You can see on the top right there, and it's from me. I've just redacted my email because for some reason it wasn't sending from my Truth Sets Us Free one, so I've had to do it from my own personal one. But you can see this is an email sent, and these are all the MPs on one of the emails. So there's 5 or 6 of these blocks of emails because I couldn't put them all on one. Same as before, really. And remember, I've had no contact from the police. I've had no contact from the members of parliament. They appear to just be trying to bury their heads and hope this is going to go away. It's not. Okay, this is not going to go away. The evidence is now circulating around the world. Done a great interview yesterday with a guy in America. Apparently he's got a huge following, so everything's going out to America. You've got groups in Australia, Canada, New Zealand contacting me, all over the world, now realising the implications of what has been uncovered. It has to now create a change. But this is one set of emails, so remember there's like 6 of these, and if I remember in a minute, I'll show you the other emails. So I'm going to read it to you, and I'm a spiritual man, I'm a Christian, and I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but I think it's becoming clear that this is actually a spiritual war, because those controlling the world appear to be spiritual in some way, shape or form, or part of an occult, shall we say, but unfortunately it appears that they're involved in quite sinister and dark spiritual practices or beliefs, however you want to put it. Anyway, so we need to counteract that with a righteousness, faith or belief, or something that is going to change things back to what we all know to be right in our moral conscience, which is we treat others how we would want to be treated in a rational mind. Of course, we do not want to defraud anyone else or cause suffering to anyone else, or to ourselves, so we shouldn't want to cause it to anyone else. So we need to come right back to this transparency, truth, trust and integrity. It's so important. So, spiritual war. But anyway, dear ladies and gentlemen, this is to the MPs and some councillors in the Dorset area. As you're aware, I'm a former Dorset police officer, a recent Christian, and a victim of this despicable crime against the moral conscience given to you by our creator. Now, you may have different views on how that's come to us, but I actually think there's information to suggest that certainly the theory of evolution, Darwin theory of evolution, has been infiltrated by this system of fraud. And if you watch my last video, you will see that. Anyway, that's a whole sort of another subject. But the evidence is irrefutable. The UK government and its organisations have been complicit to allowing international fraud against its own citizens for decades regarding the taxation system and real estate. This has involved the forgery of the company's house registration system, okay, which is a now worldwide registration system for companies. And even if the company in the other country isn't registered, they're having affiliations with companies that are registered through Companies House anyway. So it's a worldwide government international fraudulent system from the looks of it. That's what everything seems to suggest. Okay. And the banks are producing forged bank documents to falsify companies' figures to Companies House through illegal entity companies or unlawfully trading companies. So, in other words, watch my other videos, it will make more sense. But the register is being falsified against the incorporation documents. So the register is being forged deliberately with a different company name, which doesn't match the legal document attached to it. That means they're unlawfully trading entity companies, they're illegal entities, and that means they are able to defraud people, be involved in child trafficking, drug trafficking, whatever they want, basically. And there's no holding them to account because they're not real companies. And the government have been allowing this to happen for decades, okay? So, it is a heinous crime against the people by what is supposedly one of the most integrity-esteemed governments in the world, so the UK. This fraud has been prospering few, but most have been suffering as a result, including severe psychological harm through financial struggles. This leads to families separating, people becoming depressed, becoming addicted to alcohol and drugs, which is made readily available to people, and also self-harming and suicide in some extreme levels. And this includes children as well, of course, being affected. It is therefore a crime of torture under the European Convention of Human Rights, if indeed any laws have been created correctly. The latest information I'm having is that governments around the world, now I can't verify this, but this is what I'm being told, and it would not surprise me based on the evidence I've got, that governments around the world are actually false entity companies created for the very purpose of this fraudulent system, which means that the acts and statutes that they have created are also not real. Okay, and that would be true if these are if governments really are, now I'm not saying now because I haven't got the evidence of this, it's just what people are telling me. If governments are unlawfully trading corporations, like we're now showing these companies are on Companies House, that's now fact, then anything they create is also not real. You cannot have an organisation that shouldn't have been registered, which is unlawful, creating acts and statutes because they're an illegal entity. Any illegal, unlawful entity cannot do anything. They can't act as an unlawful entity because they're unlawful. Hopefully that makes sense. So they can't be doing anything. Even more concerning is the overwhelming evidence that this system of fraud links very closely with an international child trafficking network, Masonic halls, Jewish and German referenced companies, Ghislaine Maxwell, Robert Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, Max Clifford, politicians and their aides, and the World Trade Center disaster itself. Now, I am in no way anti-Semitic. I am not racist in any way. Doesn't matter what religion, what race you are. Obviously, it'd be lovely if people had the same, but we're all different and we've been given free will to have that. But none of us should be victimised, and none of us should victimise others. We're all equal human beings, living human beings, and we need to be treated equally with respect, entitled to peace and truth, trust, and integrity and transparency through all things. But it's linked very heavily to these situations. That's a fact, by the way. That's now documented. It appears that multilingual media and publishing formats and educational establishments were infiltrated regarding this fraud before World War I, and that every war is connected to this system of diabolical corruption, greed and murder. Now this is now being documented and evidenced It's a fact that there were these media companies that were started up before World War One that then spread around the world into educational authorities in multi-language formats. And obviously Companies House Court was created in 1844, which I think has actually been used as a vessel for this fraudulent system right from the outset. I think personally, it was created for this very, very purpose, to eventually remove cash and instill this whole system forever into this system of misery, crime, and fraudulent activity against the people. So they were nearly there. And every war is linked through to it through unlawful trading weapons companies, oil companies, etc., etc. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent a little bit there, but it's huge. The evidence shows that there is an informal parliamentary group regarding UK offshore islands that links almost immediately to Ghislaine Maxwell, and where it appears children are being taken to places such as Jersey before being abused, tortured, and sometimes murdered. Look at my previous videos and you will see the evidence surrounding that. Research surrounding this links quickly to Keir Starmer. I'm not saying Keir Starmer is directly involved in any of this. All I'm saying is that his companies and other politicians' companies link very quickly, extremely quickly, through these child trafficking networks. And it also links, you can see I've put there, to police associated companies, including the Forensic Archives, companies surrounding Madeleine McCann and Nicola Bulley, a Heathrow Airport Check Department, Charles Darwin Trust, and blockchain and Bitcoin technology companies. And they're very closely linked through the child protection research and the child concerns that I have. I wish I could say that this was not true, but it's being proven through evidential documents that are now circulating around the world, with many groups forming and challenging their members of parliament and refusing to pay tax. Obviously, and I'll say it again, we're all actually committing a crime now by continuing to pay tax. Not that I don't want to contribute, I always have paid my tax, but we need to do something to compel this system. If they take away the ability to stop paying tax as a form of protest against what governments are doing, if it's a crime, etc., then there'll be very little we can do, other than we'll be backed into a point of where the only thing we have to do is violently uprise. Now, I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Okay, we need to have an ability to protest, and that can therefore only be done through the withholding of taxes and payments to stop the system, to compel a change. Obviously, with evidence to show why we need to compel that change, which is what we're doing now. Okay, since my last email to almost 650 members of parliament and councillors, I've received no response, including from my own MP, Tobias Ellwood, who is also shown very clearly to be linked to this system of fraud. Again, I'm not saying Tobias Ellwood is directly involved. At every step of the way, the government organisations have highlighted their highlighting their intent on concealing the truth from the public about this, but this has inadvertently only emphasised the corruption even further, and is all being documented and shared globally. So they're just digging a deeper hole. I'm sorry to say that every one of you are now becoming complicit to the crime of conspiring to commit international fraud and child trafficking. That those of you that don't publicly oppose this and agree to a complete change to a fully transparent system immediately should resign with immediate effect, and allow a peaceful transition of new leaders who will implement truth, transparency and integrity and prevent any further suffering of the innocents. It is clear that this must stop to save yourselves as well as everyone else. Now, conspiring is a very broad offence. You can have conspiring to steal a sandwich from a shop, okay? So if somebody goes and tells a thief, look, go and steal that sandwich, okay, and they're involved in conspiring, okay? If I then find out about that sandwich and I'm in theft of a sandwich, and I'm in a position to highlight and address that, a position of authority to deal with that theft of a sandwich, and I do nothing and I ignore it to allow more sandwiches to be stolen, I'm giving a very simplistic version here, then I become complicit to the offence of conspiring, okay? If I'm not doing anything to prevent it, I may be setting up things to ensure that it can continue, which is what appears to be happening with the blockchain technology coming in, and there's more stuff coming in about that at the moment, the suggestion that's what they're looking at doing. then it becomes a conspiring offence. Now, remember, I've emailed, and you can look at them, 650 MPs. I've had no responses. I'm sure a lot of you are contacting your MPs and the police. We've seen with the latest child protection case, everyone is getting knocked back. Nobody's been able to even report it, their concerns. They are therefore conspiring, okay, because they're not preventing it. They're in a position to prevent it, to do something about it, and they are not. Okay, and that therefore you're going into the realms of conspiring to commit international fault. Hopefully that makes sense. But save yourselves, anyone involved with this, and there will be many, not just politicians, there'll be other people. Save yourselves from this. You know it's wrong, okay? You know it's wrong. Come away from it. Help everybody else. Step up to the mark. Speak out. Do these videos. Challenge your counsellors. Phone the police about everything. Let's change this together, all of you, no matter whether you're over here, you've come over from another country recently, with many people who've come over. Get involved. We're all equal. Get involved. Help us all work together to create peace, transparency, honesty, integrity, and trust for all of us. This world can be an incredible place. I promise you, it can be. Absolutely possible. This really is a spiritual war, and righteousness will prevail. I really believe that. As always, if you would like to discuss this or have any questions, please feel free to contact me on this number. I'll put my mobile, and I've also put the link to my YouTube videos so they can see all the videos. Go and look at the evidence, everyone, okay? These politicians, go and look at it. God bless you all. Kind regards. So I'll just show you that it's been sent. So I'll just show you who else it's been sent to. So these are exactly the same email, and these are just the other email addresses, so you can see everyone that's had it. You know, this is great evidence because they've had it. You're seeing that they've had this information. You're seeing they're seeing the evidence. So they've got no excuse not to address it. Now, they need to just resign. All of it. If they're all involved, I don't think they are. There's going to be innocent people in here. Just resign. It's important that Douglas Smith goes. The advisors for the Prime Ministers, you need to be gone, Douglas. I'm really sorry. And you can see it's the same email, and I've just forwarded it on. So basically, this is the original one, and then I've forwarded it on. And again, this is the third batch of emails. I think this is the third one. So you can see all the emails, different MPs. And they've all had the same email, like I said. This is really just so you can see, you know, it might be your local MPs on here, and you're thinking of emailing them. All this supports your email, your contact. Okay, so this is the fourth batch of emails. Don't think it's the same one. No, I think it's different emails, isn't it? Sorry if I'm repeating a couple of the emails here. You can see this. You know, if you notice you could pause this, slow it down, look through, see who's had it. It's just all evidence building. This is what we do, okay? We need to do this. We can do this peacefully. Apply pressure to the powers that be. Oh, the next email. As you can see, they've all had this email. It's pretty much every MP. There may be a couple that a few that I haven't got in there. I've just gone through basically and saved them all as contacts. You can go on the government website and look at all the MPs. And it's just to show you that it is the same email. Yeah, sorry, so I've just come back to the first email. But yeah, there's I think there's 5 batches of them. I don't know if I've shown them all, but you get the idea. Lots of MPs have had it. God bless. Another video soon. Lots happening. Incredible video coming out. Now, remember, I don't want anything. I've got people offering me money all the time. I don't want any money. Okay, we're fine. My wife and I are fine. God bless you. It's very kind of you. We just need to get the truth out there, all right? This world is going to end up in a very bad place if we don't. But, yeah, no, keep spreading the information. Share these emails. Share this video. You know, share this all around. Apply the pressure peacefully. It will move mountains, guys. It's already happening. God bless.